Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Commander, tough rules, and cool interactions, episode 126. Today's episode is going to take a look at a question that I saw pop up on Discord, and I didn't think all too much of it when it was asked, but then I started seeing some of the replies that were being given from people trying to answer that person's question, and they were getting it wrong. And so that got me thinking if others were getting this card wrong, and so I checked out the EDH page for the commander in question, and sure enough, a lot of people were using a card that had a very bad interaction in that it has really almost no interaction with the commander. So here on screen I've got the question that I actually saw on Discord, but I'll read it for anyone that's just listening to this. The question is, can you plot and cast a card without a mana cost, like one of the suspend cards, off the top of library with Fibblethip lost on the range? So let's see what this Fibblethip does. He says that you may look at the top card of your library at any time. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. And then here is a screenshot of the EDH page for Fibblethip, lost on the range, and you'll see that it has in its high synergy section, we do see a suspend card called Ancestral Vision, and it is listed as being in 46% of Fibblethip decks. That's a lot. Which is a bummer for those people thinking that this works, because it sadly does not work. Cards in Magic will often refer to a card's mana value, or if you're looking at an older printing of a card, they will say the card's converted mana cost. But there's also something referenced on far fewer cards, and that is the card's mana cost. And a mana cost is just a straight up snapshot of what the printed mana cost is on the card, including the colors of the mana pips in its cost. Excluding very few rare exceptions, most commonly cards with an X in their cost. I saw a lot of replies to this person's question quoting a section of the Comprehensive Rules, section 202.3a, as to being an answer as to why this can work with Fibblethip. So let's take a look at what CR 202.3a says, and that is that the mana value of an object with no mana cost is 0, unless that object is the back face of a transforming double-faced permanent or is a melded permanent. So we then need to take a close look at the Fibblethip to see what his specific wording is, and we can see that he does say the plot cost is equal to its mana cost, and it does not say it's equal to its mana value. This is different for cards that have 0 mana value, but does have a mana cost, like Ornithopter. In order for you to play a card via plot on the Fibblethip, you do have to pay its plot cost. But if a card has its plot cost set to a cost that doesn't exist, then you cannot pay that cost. It doesn't exist. Same as if you were to try to just cast a suspend card from your hand for free, because it has no cost there. It doesn't have a cost, so you cannot pay that cost. It actually has to have a cost of 0 for you to pay that cost of 0. Now, before closing out, I do want to point out that if you have other ways to plot a card with suspend, then it can work. Like the card Make Your Own Luck. That is a sorcery that says, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. If you do, it becomes plotted. So that doesn't say that you plot the card by paying a plot cost. It's just being plotted through the resolution of that spell. Sadly, if Fibblethip is your commander, then you're locked into only blue, and you can't use a card like Make Your Own Luck. But you could use a card like Jace Reawakened, which is the only mono blue card that I can find that would work on plotting a card like Ancestral Vision, something that has suspend, and have it work in a Fibblethip deck. So if you're looking to make a Fibblethip deck and you've got Ancestral Vision or any other suspend cards in your deck list, then you may want to take them out. if you were hoping to basically cast them for free. And if you do run into other players at your LGS, or if they're in your playgroup and they're working on a Fibblethip deck, because it does look like a pretty fun Storm deck, just make sure to let them know, hey, don't run things with Suspend, like Ancestral Vision, because they just don't work. Unless they actually do plan on casting them through Suspend, but that's just kind of pointless. That's not really the whole point of the deck, really, but yeah, whatever. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta!